Will you regret moving to the San Fernando Valley? Well, more and more people are asking me about this region of Los Angeles. It's one of the most northern portions of the city because it is becoming more and more popular of a destination for people to move to. In fact, my wife and I made the decision to move to the San Fernando Valley from a different part of Los Angeles, and we had a number of reasons of why we made that decision. But the concern is, will you regret it? And if you're doing your research, you're looking up different portions of Los Angeles and you realize how large and how sprawled out the city is. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you realize how important it is to make sure you pick the region of Los Angeles that meets your lifestyles, whether that's for entertainment, your family lifestyle, commuting to work, whatever it is that you enjoy in your lifestyle will be affected by the region of Los Angeles that you live in. So you don't want to have regrets when making a move, especially if you're making a huge move from out of the country, from out of the state, or even within a different portion of the state, because it is a huge decision and it's a massive move. And I mean, it was a big decision. I just moved from West Los Angeles, which is only about 15 miles south, but it feels like it's a lot further than that. And I've been in contact with many of my clients who we've helped relocate to the Los Angeles region, including the San Fernando Valley, asked them if they've had any real regrets, and they haven't had any regrets, thankfully. Some have things that they miss about where they're from, whether it's from, again, out of the state or even just in different portions of Los Angeles. But they did have some real concerns, and they did make sure that they did their research. And in this video, we're going to go over some potential things that you may regret when you move to the San Fernando Valley. Okay, first on the list for potential regrets is that you're away from the action in Los Angeles. The San Fernando Valley is a suburb. It's a massive suburb. It's about 250 square miles, which is almost half the size of the city of Los Angeles itself. Huge population, very sprawled out. And it's just rows and rows and rows of residential living, residential homes. Now, there are some shopping spots and entertainment spots, and we'll get to that in a minute, but it doesn't have the quintessential LA lifestyle that is portrayed in the media, on your shows, in movies, and what you've heard from family and friends, because it is not really close to a lot of the big action. So if you're looking for club life, you're someone that loves to go out at night, hit up all the clubs, or if you're someone that likes to go bar hopping, hit up all the cool and eclectic bars that we have here in Los Angeles, and you're looking for that nightlife, then the San Fernando Valley is probably not going to be the best fit for you. If you do move there, you're going to have a decent commute to those areas. So San Fernando Valley is a lot more laid back, and you're not going to find that lively action, that lively crowd, especially if you're someone that likes to go out past 10 p.m. Now, I know it makes me sound a little bit older. When I was in my 20s, the San Fernando Valley may have not been for me necessarily. I wanted to be a lot closer to the clubs, the bars, the nightlife, the action, the sporting events. But as I got older, started raising a family, I realized that's not exactly what I wanted anymore, and I wanted something a little bit more quieter. If you're somebody that wants to be a little bit more on trend, the Los Angeles trendy lifestyle, and you like the Rodeo Drive shopping, you want to be in Beverly Hills, Century City, you want to be on Rodeo Drive or all the high-end shopping there, or maybe you want to be in the beach cities along 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where they have a lot of high-end shoppings and boutique shops, same with Venice. You want to be in the Arts District of Culver City or the Arts District of Los Feliz. You're not going to find that in the San Fernando Valley. Now, if you're like a lot of people moving to Los Angeles, you're coming here for the tech industry, the tech world. And the San Fernando Valley, while it does have tech companies out here, it's not the hub, and it's not nearly the center or focal point of the tech industry of Los Angeles. In fact, we have Silicon Beach, which would be like the West Los Angeles, Playa Vista, the coastal communities like Santa Monica, Venice, Marina del Rey, even parts of Culver City and Westwood. That would encompass Silicon Beach, where your major companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon, Beats by Dre, EA Sports, and so many more behemoths of tech giants and tech companies, as well as all the support tech companies, then you're going to want to consider the areas that I just mentioned, and maybe not the San Fernando Valley, unless you don't mind the commute. So if you kind of want to be in the middle in the action or the atmosphere of the tech world, then I'd look outside the San Fernando Valley. You may regret making the move here and then sitting in your car for an hour to get to work or to be part of that world or lifestyle. Also, if you are a huge sports junkie like myself, this is one of the things that I did find it a little bit more challenging when I moved from West LA to the San Fernando Valley. Again, it was only 15 miles, but it's like an hour and change of commuting. I put myself further away from major sporting events and venues like Dodger Stadium and Crypto Arena, where the Lakers and Clippers play, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, where the Rams and Chargers play, the football stadiums in Exposition Park near downtown Los Angeles, and UCLA, USC. I'm a bit further away, so I'm not really part of that action. Now, there's a lot of sports fans in the San Fernando Valley, all supporting their local teams. And so you do have the fandom around. It's just that you're not as close as you are to those venues. So sometimes, again, you look at that commute, takes a little bit longer to get there, and you just don't feel necessarily as connected to those major sporting events and those major sporting teams. If you're a little bit more into the arts and culture, again, San Fernando Valley does have a great theater at the California State University Northridge. There's a couple of museums like the Skirball Museum and the Getty Museum that are really close by, and the Mission San Fernando that offers a lot of the mission life, mission culture, or the mission history for California. But you're not really that close to a lot of the other museums that are more centrally located closer to downtown along Wilshire Boulevard corridor, known as Museum Row, where they have the LA County Art Museum, La Brea Tar Pits, which is a dinosaur museum, Peterson Automotive Museum, so many more, as well as near Exposition Park, downtown Los Angeles, where you have the California Science Center. You've got the Lucasfilm Museum there as well, Natural History Museum. So much is focused in other parts of the San Fernando Valley. So if you're looking for that type of lifestyle as well, then the San Fernando Valley may not be the right choice for you. You may regret moving out this way. Now, I'm not trying to portray San Fernando Valley as a lack of entertainment. We do have our forms of entertainment here. It's just a little bit more laid back. I'd say it's a little bit more casual, family oriented, and just less club, less nightlife, less action packed. We got miniature golf courses here, family fun centers. We've got a lot of hiking trails, which is really cool. We're a big community that likes to celebrate at our parks because there's so many really good parks out here. Lake Balboa being one of the largest in the state, one of the largest urban parks in the state. And so a lot of people take advantage of that type of lifestyle. We've got festivals and concerts in the park and different events. We've also have great farmers markets in the San Fernando Valley. People like indoor activities as well as like laser tag and going to movie theaters, the shopping malls around here. So it's just a different form of entertainment. And for me and my family, it's actually what we enjoy, it's what we like in our lives now. And just because we're not going out partying at night anymore. Again, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, a licensed agent here in Los Angeles. My team and I have helped and love helping many people move to and away from Los Angeles. So hit us up at the contact information below, it's popping up on your screen, or at the description below. Also, I'd love to hear why you're thinking of moving to the San Fernando Valley or in Los Angeles in general. So hit us up in the comments and we'll make sure to get back to you as well. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified. Now, the second topic on our list is going to be the weather. Now, in general, Los Angeles, including the San Fernando Valley, has some fantastic weather, some of the best weather you're going to come across the country. But when you look at it on a more regional basis, when you compare the San Fernando Valley to the rest of Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley gets really hot during late spring and the entirety of the summer and even into early fall. And so if you're someone that doesn't do well in the heat or you're not used to that, now it's a dry heat, you'll know what that means if you're coming from the East Coast or the Southeast where it's very humid. So the dry heat is, I'd say, arguably better than the humidity, but it still could be quite stifling. And when you're comparing it to like West Los Angeles or the coastal communities in Los Angeles, it doesn't really compare weather-wise. It is near perfect weather when you're living in places like Santa Monica, Mar Vista, Culver City, West Los Angeles, Venice, Marina, Playa Vista, Westchester, South Bay areas, which include Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach. I mean, it really doesn't get any better as far as weather goes. When you move to the San Fernando Valley, again, we don't have crazy storms like you do in parts of the Midwest. We don't have hurricanes like you have in the Southeast. We don't have months and months and months of gray weather and rain like you have in the Northwest and the Northeast. And we don't have snow, so no tornadoes. And so when you compare it to that, I still say the San Fernando Valley has some spectacular weather. But it can get triple digits and stay triple digits for weeks at a time when we're talking 100, 105, 110, and even hotter than that But even when it's not triple digits and you're still sitting at 90 degrees plus for many weeks, it really kind of weighs on you. And this is someone who has been used to it for quite a long time. And even when I wasn't living in the San Fernando Valley, I went to university in the San Fernando Valley. So you think I'd be used to it. And I really never did. Never could quite get used to it. I'm a big outdoor person. I love being outdoors. I had to kind of change up some of the way I did things. I do things a little bit earlier in the morning when it comes to the summertime, and a little bit later in the evening or later in the day when I want to be outside, or I'm finding shade. And so this does affect kind of your entertainment and what you do, but it also affects your day-to-day life. Just bringing groceries from your car to your front door, it's just super hot. It's super annoying. When you get into your car, you're burning your hands on your steering wheel. You got to be careful not to touch the metal portion of the seatbelt because you're going to fry your finger off. And so things like that, I mean, they do make a difference, even though you don't consciously think about it. Or when your kids are just melting away, when you're running them wild on errands and they're miserable because it's so hot out every time you get in and out of the car. When you have sporting events here during the summer, again, very active community, it could be quite stifling when you've got soccer games, baseball games, and the kids are tired, but they seem to go like Energizer bunnies. But as adults on the sidelines or in the stands, we're fanning ourselves, trying to find shade, something cool to drink. So it does affect just your daily life in general, and it could affect your mood. And when you're hot and you're tired and you're a little bit miserable from all that, and your kids just want to play with you, and you're like, man, I just need a moment to cool off, but they want to run around outside. So again, it does affect kind of your day-to-day lifestyle, but there is some relief. Now, almost every home in the San Fernando Valley is going to have air conditioning. I don't want to say 100% because it's never 100%, but you can count on having air conditioning in the homes here, whereas in other portions of LA, it's not necessarily so. More importantly, you've got a lot of pool activity. So a lot of people moving to the San Fernando Valley want a home that's attached to the pool, want a pool that's a part of their home, part of their lifestyle. Now, when I made the move, I said I wasn't going to move to the San Fernando Valley. Side note, my wife is from the San Fernando Valley originally. She moved to West Los Angeles to live with me for a while before we moved back to the San Fernando Valley. But I'm originally from West LA, where again, I was enjoying some of the best weather in the world. And it was hard for me to make that choice to move to the San Fernando Valley at first. I'm super happy that I did in the end, but I said I would not move there unless I had a pool. Well, I made the move and I didn't get a pool. Good news is we had some great neighbors across from us and a couple doors down that had pools and welcomed us anytime we wanted to come by. So we took advantage of that. So we still got to enjoy the pool lifestyle, because that's a big part of it when you're living in the San Fernando Valley. Barbecues in the pool, by the pool, grilling by the pool, just hanging poolside, splashing around, having fun, friends, family, the kids. It's fantastic. And when we want to do some activities during the summer, during the middle of the day, we do find some indoor activities, as I mentioned in the previous section when I was talking about entertainment. We go to movies quite often. We go to different arcades. We go play some laser tag, family fun center. We go to different shopping centers. So there's a lot to do during the summer when it is brutally hot. So again, you may regret that move if you're not going to be able to handle the heat. Okay, third on the list is going to be commuting/transportation. And the reason I bring that up is because it really depends on why you're moving to the Los Angeles region. And some people could have regrets if they move to the San Fernando Valley, but find that most of their action, the activities in their life is spent elsewhere out of the San Fernando Valley. Now, if you are living in the San Fernando Valley and spend a majority of your time in this region, then you probably won't have any regrets when it comes to commuting. But if you live here and work in West LA, work downtown Los Angeles, work in the South Bay or Inglewood or other parts south of the San Fernando Valley, it could be pretty daunting. You can become miserable pretty quickly because the traffic here can be very overwhelming. It is unlike any other place I've ever been to when it comes to traffic. It can be a nightmare. And if you're not someone that can easily deal with it, it can be a real issue. So you may have some real regrets. Now, in Los Angeles in general, you're going to run into traffic and there's absolutely no getting around it. Now, I will say traffic in other parts of Los Angeles outside of the San Fernando Valley, in my opinion, is worse. So again, if you're staying within the San Fernando Valley, it still could be pretty bad, but not nearly as bad as the other parts of Los Angeles. And again, it comes into play if you live in the San Fernando Valley and work outside of the San Fernando Valley, because you have a few ways to get into the valley, and that's the 405 freeway, which runs north and south. That's if you want to get into West Los Angeles, the South Bay, Culver City, Inglewood, you're going to have to hit the 405 freeway. Even if you try to hit the side streets like Sepulveda Boulevard and whatnot, then you're going to be sitting on the freeway for hours, an hour or more. I know for me, it takes an hour just to go, 10 miles sometimes, and it could be worse if you run into road construction, or if there's an accident, forget it. If you're going east into downtown Los Angeles or other parts of the eastern portion of the San Fernando Valley, if you're living in the western portion of the San Fernando Valley, then you're going to hit the 101 freeway, and that could be a nightmare as well. Where it affects me more personally is I still am someone who loves to go to the beach, but living in the San Fernando Valley, I'm much further away from it than when I was, so I don't go as often. So it does affect my desire to go to the beach as often. Or for me, again, I mentioned I'm a big sports junkie. When I go to professional sporting events, Dodger game, Laker game, I'm not nearly as excited to go as often. So I'm not part of that world as much. There's real no rush hour to where you can be like, okay, well, if we go in the middle of the day, because really we have kind of free hour. So it is busy on the freeways and the roads between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Then you have some freed up space where it's not nearly as bad between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Then after 2 p.m., it's back to being ridiculously congested on the highways and the roads between 2 p.m. and like 8 p.m. So it's real. If you've talked to family and friends, done your research, you know how real the traffic is. If you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about it quite a bit because it is a big deal and it does become part of your life. And, when you get home from work, or if you're going to work and you just sat in your car for an hour and change to hardly go anywhere, you may be feeling a certain way. And sometimes what I suggest, honestly, is take a moment when you park, take a few deep breaths, put on your favorite music or something, and just relax before you actually go into where you need to go. I personally do that. It's part of my routine. It's part of how I cope with the traffic here. I also meditate, not with my eyes closed, of course. I put on some soothing music. I also make personal calls and business calls so I can take advantage of my time, or I just put on my favorite podcast or music and I deal with it there. I can't tell you how many people I'll look across the window and look at some really angry drivers. And don't get me wrong, I understand it. But if you're going to live in Los Angeles, or if you're going to live in the San Fernando Valley and commute out of the valley, you're just going to have to start dealing with it and come to the realization that this is part of your lifestyle and find ways to cope with it. All right, fourth on the list of potential regrets, and I just alluded to this a few minutes ago, is the beach life or lack thereof. So if you're moving to Los Angeles with the hopes of being part of the beach lifestyle, and a lot of people are, and because it's one of the best things that we have here in Los Angeles, you may regret moving to the San Fernando Valley because you don't have easy access to the coast, you don't have easy access to the beach, and it can take 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on when you're going, to get to the ocean. So if that's one of your goals, then I highly recommend looking in places like West Los Angeles, Mar Vista, Santa Monica, Venice, Marina, Culver City, South Bay, Manhattan Beach. I've named all these places before. Now it does come at a much higher price tag. So again, you just have to take that into consideration. But again, if you're looking to spend a lot of time at the beach, you just don't have that easy access. If you like the outdoors, again, we've got a lot of outdoor activities in the San Fernando Valley, and a lot of people take advantage of that, especially when it comes to hiking, because again, being in the valley, we are surrounded by a bunch of mountain ranges and hills, thus why we're in the valley. So if you're someone that loves to surf, boogie board, body surf, you want to run along the beach, bike along the bike paths there, or just lay out on the beach, something I love to do, play beach volleyball, take advantage of just sitting by the beach, having a picnic, or even doing a coastline drive along the Pacific Coast Highway. I love taking in the sunsets, beautiful sunsets along the coast. While you can get to them from the San Fernando Valley, the options are you can take Topanga Canyon Boulevard from the Woodland Hills area. That's going to cut across the Santa Monica Mountains. That's in the more western portion of the valley. If you live in the eastern portion of the valley, man, that's an hour and a half, potentially maybe 2 hours, depending on when you're going. And if you're living right in the middle of the valley, like Encino, Sherman Oaks, and that area by along the 405 corridor, 405 freeway. Then you can shoot down south the 405 freeway to the 10 freeway, which will take you west into Santa Monica and Venice area. So while there are means to get there, it's just it's more of a planned trip. It's not kind of a spur of the moment, or hey, I just want to take a quick drive, or hey, you know what, I just feel like going to the beach today. And I'm just going to be there in 15 minutes. So it's not like that when living in the San Fernando Valley. Now, I do have some friends and neighbors that live in the San Fernando Valley and actually have a couple of boats that they hang in the marina, because the Marina del Rey, if you're into boating, jet skiing, kayaking, all of that type of fun water activities, then again, you may want to consider living closer to the Marina del Rey. But I've got some neighbors, actually a couple clients too, that keep their water toys at the marina, and they just make the commute and deal with it. Okay, the fifth regret that you may have when moving to the San Fernando Valley is the feeling of being disconnected from the rest of the city in Los Angeles. Now, it's really kind of hard to explain this one unless you've visited the San Fernando Valley or lived in Los Angeles in general to really understand the vastness and how sprawled out this city really is. And I'd argue that the city of LA doesn't really feel like one full city. You don't feel this connection to Los Angeles, I guess. You feel a little bit more connected to the neighborhood that you're from, or that you live in, or the region that you live in. Now, again, you are from Los Angeles, but more people specify exactly where they're from in Los Angeles. So most people would say, well, I'm from from Santa Monica. I'm from Culver City. I'm from the San Fernando Valley. I'm from Los Feliz. I'm from Burbank. I'm from the South Bay, et cetera, et cetera. And so because people feel more connected to the region and the neighborhood they live in, because there's no real city center in Los Angeles. So that's one of the reasons. But when you live in the San Fernando Valley, it's kind of the suburban effect, the suburban feel. And again, because you're not part of the beach lifestyle or the quintessential entertainment lifestyle that LA provides, and because it takes so long to get places, as I mentioned, because of traffic and commuting, you don't really feel connected to the rest of Los Angeles. And so you're not really part of hanging out on, being part of that Sunset Boulevard crowd. Again, as I mentioned, the entertainment scene where the clubs and the bar scenes are. You're not really feeling part of the college towns like UCLA or USC, in Exposition Park in UCLA and Westwood. You're not really feeling connected to the beach cities like Santa Monica and Manhattan Beach, Venice Beach, Redondo Beach, and Marina del Rey, and even Playa Vista. You're not really feeling connected to that lifestyle. You're not feeling connected to downtown Los Angeles because, again, you're so far away, or portions of the eastern portions of Los Angeles like Echo Park and Los Feliz and Eagle Rock have a little bit more of an artsy feel, eclectic feel. When you live in the San Fernando Valley, you just kind of resign yourself to being and feeling you're in suburban life. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, if you want that connection to the rest of the city, you may be kind of yearning for that or want for that, because you just won't get it when living in the San Fernando Valley. Now, you will feel very connected to the rest of the San Fernando Valley and people living there. And as I mentioned, it is a specific lifestyle when living out here, but it also can affect you when you're talking about family and friends. So if you're moving to the San Fernando Valley and you have friends and family that live in other portions of Los Angeles, and even for myself, who's locally born, raised in Los Angeles, just moving from West LA to San Fernando Valley, as I mentioned, it was 15 miles, but it's like an hour and change commute in many part of the day. We actually didn't see our friends as much as we thought we would. And my wife and I coached a lot of youth basketball and youth baseball in the Mar Vista area, which is the West Los Angeles region. And we actually stopped coaching there because it didn't make sense for us to commute, even though we had built a really big community there. And so there may be some regret if you're living that far away, again, not distance wise, but time wise, where you're not seeing your friends and family in other parts of LA as much as you would like to, or you have to actually really plan it out, or maybe you meet in the middle. So it's just a lot more work to feel more connected to the other parts of Los Angeles. So you may feel a little bit down about that. And again, it really depends on what you're looking for when you make the move here to Los Angeles. And maybe hopefully, if you're thinking about the San Fernando Valley, that you've got a lot of friends or family or work connections that you can build your community in and around that. That's what we had to do. We kind of had to rebuild our community. Not to say we didn't stay in touch with our family and friends and connections in West LA. It's just because we didn't see them as much, we wanted to build something a little bit more closer to where we were living at that time. Again, if you are thinking about making that move to Los Angeles, hit us up at the contact information below or in the description. My team and I love helping people move to and relocate to Los Angeles. And if you're moving away from LA and you're watching videos, hit us up with that too. We do help with that as well. And if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got lots of great videos about Los Angeles and the surrounding regions. Hit the like button and comment below. Again, I would love to hear why you're thinking about San Fernando Valley or just moving to Los Angeles in general. If you want to get notified for when videos drop, hit the bell. And I will see you on the next video.